Understanding the dental patient journey will accelerate the growth of your practice, increase your patient referrals, and add more money to your bottom line. Hi, I'm Kayvan Mott, co-founder of the DocSites. Today, I'm really excited to share with you this concept. The dental journey is essentially everything to get a patient from I've never heard about you to I heard about you, all the way to a loyal patient who's now referring their friends and family. So within each of those stages, we're going to share some tips and tools and strategies, because at each of these 3 stages that I'm going to go over, it takes a different set of tools and mindset and tactics. So the 3 stages in the dental patient journey are the following. First is acquisition. How do you acquire a new patient? How do they hear about you? Second is activation. Are you able to convert that website appointment into someone in your chair and give them treatment? And then third is retention. How do you take care of them so they stay? They love your practice and they actually refer their friends or family. So let's dive into these. First, we're going to talk about acquiring a new patient. So there's 3 main areas that you want to focus on in order to acquire more patients. The first are your reviews. So these are really important because nowadays everyone goes online. They have hundreds of dentists to choose from. What makes your practice unique? Reviews are one of the fastest ways you can stand out from the crowd, because if everyone else has, let's say, 20 reviews online and you have 100 reviews, guess where I, as the patient who's looking online, think, I want to go. I want to take my nephews to go. I want to take my wife to go. Focus your energy and efforts to giving great service and put a system in place to actually ask for reviews, whether that's QR codes, using a text software, or whatever it may be, training your team or staff, giving them prizes, to ask for reviews. It's really important because it's one of the bedrocks to acquiring more new patients. So after you do that, focus, secondly, on your website. If you think about marketing as a way to build trust, because it really is, if you think about it. I went to the same car mechanic for, I want to say 20 years, right? His name was Sacco. If something was wrong with my car, I don't know what's wrong with my car. All I know is, do I trust Sacco or not? So whatever he tells me, I go for it. Because there's trust there, I don't need an ad. I don't need to be sold, right? There's trust there, so a transaction will happen. Marketing in many ways is there to build trust. And how you can do that is by giving people a sense of what they're walking into. Your website is the best way you can give someone a peek into your practice. If marketing is about building trust, your website is the first impression online. Question is, what kind of first impression are you giving? One that's not so great, or one that looks professional and friendly and gentle, right? That I want to come into, bring my family into. With your website, some tips are you want to make sure you include personalized photos and videos. Nothing will paint a picture of, wow, what I'm walking into, than actual personalized photos and videos. So nix those stock photos and instead hire a photographer. Hire a videographer. Do whatever it takes to get those personalized photos, videos on your website. Second thing is highlight your technology. A lot of people actually want to know, like, what am I coming to see? Like, wow, you have a digital x-ray. Oh, you have an iTero. I don't need to put gunk in my mouth, right? You might take these things for granted, but a patient actually cares about these things. So highlight your technology. And then third, make sure that your website is mobile friendly and mobile responsive. Specifically, make sure that your mobile version of your website has a click to call button. The fact is, somewhere between 80 and 90% of dental appointments are made on the phone. That is a very big statistic. So make sure that your mobile website has a click to call where someone can say, click, call, I'm connected to someone. The more barriers you remove and the easier you make it for patients, the more new patients you will acquire. And then the third part of it is marketing. Where do you focus your marketing to get more visible? Because if you have a great website, but you're not doing any marketing, it's like a cell phone that no one has the phone number to. It's not going to ring. Here's the truth you need to know. You don't need to do every single thing and be a master of all things for it to work out for you, okay? There's some dentists who just focus on Instagram and they take before and afters and they like being on Instagram and doing it and it works for them. It's fine. There's some dentists who have never been on Instagram, never posted on social. I have a client who doesn't even check emails, right? and he does very big cosmetic cases in Spring, Texas. So it really spans the gamut, okay, when it comes to marketing. But what you do want to know is if you have diluted focus, you will get diluted results. So focus your efforts on one area that you know is going to bring a return. In my over 15 years experience, the best place that I've seen that creates a great long-term return, brings in quality patients day in and day out, and doesn't charge you an arm and a leg to do it, is through Google. And now Google has two components to it. Now you might be asking, why Google? Well, think about it. Where do most people go when they're looking for a dentist? It's on Google, right? There's two approaches on Google. There's short-term results, which is Google Ads or pay-per-click, and long-term results, which is search engine optimization or SEO. If you're a new dental practice, you want to make sure that you're doing a combination. Because if you're a startup, you don't have 6 or 12 months for SEO or search engine optimization to kick in. You need appointments, phone calls now. So if you're a startup or you need Google to be, ringing off the hook with new patients, focus your efforts on Google Ads or pay per click. I would recommend hiring an expert company, someone who's done it before, because otherwise you could be tinkering with it and losing a lot of money. I see this day in, day out. So do a combination of Google Ads and SEO. And again, you don't need to pay an arm and a leg to get this service. At DocSites, we do these services for under $1,000 combined and take care of your website. So don't be fooled that you need to spend a lot, meaning you'll get a lot. Save your money for the Google ad budget. So we've talked about acquiring. We've talked about reviews. We've talked about a personalized website. We've talked about showing up with some kind of marketing to a specific demographic or community or platform. Now it's about activation. Step 2. When that phone rings, who's picking up the phone and what are they saying? Phones are the most expensive equipment in a dental practice. What I mean by that is if you don't have a trained staff or front desk who knows what they're doing when they pick up the phone, then you are losing money hands over fist. And the reason is because, like I mentioned earlier, most people are making their appointments over the phone. So what you want to do is make sure that you're training your team and your staff on how you want to have the phones answered. Even little things matter. For example, a patient might call in and say, hey, do you accept this insurance? If your staff, even though they're well-intentioned, says, no, we don't accept that insurance, done. That patient is gone. You've lost that patient. Instead, if you train your staff or team and say, hey, we actually take care of a variety of insurances, including this and this and this. Why don't we get you scheduled in? I can answer more of your questions. Something along those lines. Don't cut it off. That's really important. If you have not trained your staff, I guarantee you they're saying it just how they know. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the proper way. So put money, effort, resources into training your team to actually properly answer the phone calls. What's not a bad idea is maybe you hire an outside company to answer the phone calls for you. Listen, I know how it is as a business owner. Maybe your staff is doing multiple things. An assistant is hard to come by, so they're juggling multiple things. They're on the phone with insurance, and that patient call gets missed. It happens. What you want to do is put a system in place or procedure in place where A, they're being followed up on consistently, or B, you hire a company who solves that problem for you, because trust me, there's companies out there who have already solved that problem. Just make sure that they work in the dental industry, they're here in the US, and they have a great reputation. That is one of the most important ways you can actually activate patients, because if there's a hole in your phone calls or how you actually confirm appointments, they're not going to show up. Some other tips of how to actually improve your activation are, if you're not doing this already, use a text reminder system to remind them, John, you have an appointment tomorrow. Oh, thanks. They're more likely to show up. Activate them by giving them the online form. Maybe you're using a software like a Yappy or Dental Intelligence. Send that to the patient so they don't have to come in and fill out forms. They could do it in advance. Find ways like that. Maybe you give them appointments online. You allow them to schedule appointments online, so it makes it really faster. Some people, they're making appointments after the workday is done. after your office is closed. So having something like that where they can schedule online is a great way to give that mom or dad who doesn't have time during work to call your practice to actually make that appointment. In the activation phase, it's really important you have structures and training in place consistently, because if you don't, people are people. They're gonna revert to their comfortable ways. So you wanna make sure that you have a system that you follow up on, that you check on, that your team knows, okay, doctor is checking in on this. I know it's important because it's important to her or him. Part 3 of this dental journey is retention. The patient has heard about you. Maybe they get referred, they go online. Okay, we've done this phase 1. They see you on Google. Phase 2 of this dental journey is the activation. So they have booked their appointment, they're coming in, they're scheduled in. Now they experience your service, and it's about retention. So in this phase 3 of the journey in retention, it's really all about customer service and communication yet again. This is where they get a glimpse of how it is to get serviced by you. And it's really important. Once they get service from you, whether it's a cleaning, whether you do a surgery, do they hear from you? Do you check in on them? I was just speaking to a very successful dentist in Texas, and he was telling me, he's like, Kayvan, I actually write a hand postcard to every new patient. Hey, it's Dr. So-and-so. Thanks so much for coming in. Like, you were awesome. By the way, do you know anyone like yourself? You've been awesome. Here's our number. And it's a thank you message and also asking for a referral. In that phase of retention, it's really important to communicate with them, ask with them, what are your needs? What are your concerns? How can I help you? This is really all about bedside manner. I have a dental client who would tell me, he's like, Kayvan, I used to work for a dentist and this guy's clinical work sucked. He's like, I know, because I used to redo his work. But patients love the guy. They had no problem referring friends or family and coming in to do the filling again, even though it broke. Why? He had great bedside manners. He had a great communication. He was there, he was present. So he was retaining his patients that he brought in. In this phase, it's all about, like I said, communication. And so you want to make sure that you're communicating with patient. Maybe you spend a little extra time in that first new patient appointment with them and actually ask, hey, where are you from? Oh, what brings you to the area? Get to know them a little bit better. And then stay in touch. Communication is about staying in touch. So some great ways to do that is, 1, you can send an email newsletter. Don't believe the hype, email is dead. Look, I've had the same email for 10 years. I'm still answering it. You probably are too. Use email newsletters. 2, use social media to post. One great way is maybe you have a wall at your office that's branded. You take photos, or you have a procedure where every time a new patient comes in, they sign off on a, yes, you can use my photo. We take a photo, we post it on social media. People love seeing photos of themselves. So that's a great way where you can actually stay in touch. People will share it. And then the third way is the phone. I know, crazy, right? I have a client who's very successful, close to about 15 practices in the Chicago area. He has one staff member. Her entire job is to call patients and reactivate them. Hey, you haven't been in for a while. Can I book you in? Hey, you came in, you were interested in the veneers. You know, here's a perfect time to do it. I know Johnny's school is about to start. Can we get you scheduled in? Yeah. So use whatever method is necessary to retain them and activate them again, because the best place, the most effective place you could spend your money and resources when it comes to marketing is your current patient. Get them back into your chair. They already know you, they like you, they trust you. Sometimes it just takes a little bit more effort to get them back in to your practice. When you do that consistently, when you do these 3 main stages of acquisition, you're growing your awareness. Number 2, activation. You're doing a better job of actually getting them from a phone call to a patient in chair. And number 3, retention. Taking care of them, communicating with them, asking them for referrals, asking them for reviews. It's literally a cycle that works together. And together, this dental patient journey, by understanding it, you'll get a better sense of, hey, maybe we're off here. Hey, maybe we could do better here. When you can understand that, you can look at different stages and see where you can improve. When you focus on your patient and improving that journey, you'll benefit from increased referrals, increased practice growth, and increased profitability. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. If we can help you in any way, just feel free to message me or go to DocSites.com. This is a really important concept, and I'm glad you're going to take advantage of it and do something with it.